Hey, Alpha, Ola, greetings. Au revoir, unless that's goodbye. Um, anyway, so I'm Lauren Carter, and I'm here with another episode, another video. Honestly, this isn't too prescripted. This is just more so my thoughts and feelings of late recent events, and how the planetary shifts and alignments I think are currently impacting them. Yeah, it's making me feel my reflections on it. Okay, so yeah, I think that there is this beautiful winds in the air as of late. There's this beautiful crispness, this not even crisp, but like there's a changing of the seasons from summer to fall, and it feels so beautiful, fresh. I just sense it like I went outside today. I literally, I couldn't help but, just exclaim in joy, like literally like this, because I'm just like, wow, feels so good. It felt like the earth was giving you just this refreshing cool down, I guess you could say. It's really, really nice. It's very, very vibadelic. Love that shit. And um, honestly, it was at night. It was tonight, and the stars were out. It was just so scenic, so beautiful. I love the mood. I love the vibes. Anyway, though, so there's that, and then not to mention there was eclipse season and so many things going on. There was a blood, full moon, eclipse that was doing its thing, and I feel like there's like so much going on when it comes to beckonings of new beginnings, endings. The end is always a beginning, just at its closure threshold. So yeah, that's what I'm experiencing, and I'm experiencing new ways of relating to life, to people, to myself, and even through lenses that I once thought that I had kind of, I know we're never done with learning, but I really thought that I had the knack on this, the knack, that is. No, I really thought that I had it all down, at least as far as myself, you know? And it's really funny how the universe works, I say, because I'm meeting new people, right? These eclipses are eclipsing old cycles out. I've been seeing lots of synchronicities to do with closure and endings. And I think it's a beautiful, marvelous, wonderful thing, you know? Because, like, God is trying to do something new in my life, He's trying to do something new. And I'm ready. I'm open for it. It's nice. It's cool. And so, you know, in order to sustain your current state of being, life brings you things that are where you are to meet you, to help you fortify yourself, to help you really, solidify what it is that you're trying to do in your life. And I think that's a marvelous thing. Like if you look at the mechanics of how life operates, the quote unquote coincidences and things that just seem so, I guess, random or uncanny, if you will. There's really a science behind it. There's a magic behind it. Excuse me. Yeah, there's a science behind that magic as well. And this also brings me to my next point. When this I met in person recently, and you never know when you're going to meet someone, and you never know what that person may hold for you, what um, I guess what they stand for in your life. And I think that's really cool because you can literally meet someone on a random day and you can just hit it off. Like would that be friend, long lost family member, or platonic, any sort of partnership, internship, anything, right? And I just love it because you can just randomly meet people and they can bring such positive, wonderful energy into your life. And honestly, the individual that I'm talking about, they and I share we share similar signs in our charts. And I thought it was so interesting because we had a smoke sesh. We were just outside vibing, not planned, it was completely unplanned. But we just went. I went outside and I saw them outside. Whoever was there first, it didn't matter. And we were chilling, you know, we were vibing and enjoying the air. And then we just started talking. And I think it's really cool because, you know, like, I really admire the way that this individual has fed my mind. I was genuinely, utterly, completely blown away at the way they were able, when we got deeper into conversation, they were able to reflect back to me certain aspects of self through an astrological lens that I hadn't personally seen before. And I thought that was crazy because it's like, I consider myself a connoisseur. Well, I know I don't know everything, but I'm pretty well versed, and my lenses aren't limited. I'm not a limited person at all. And so I just, I'm shocked when someone can actually show me something that I haven't seen before. And this isn't to get beside myself, but that's literally just to the extent that I think and reflect on things. And so I thought it was so interesting that this person could reflect that back to me by using this sidereal chart, like the sidereal. We all pronounce things differently. Okay, argue with your mom. Anyway, yeah. So um, it was really refreshing. It was so cool, and I had never thought to look at myself like that, right? And it's funny because coincidentally, there was this ad that came up on YouTube, and it was by Tim Han, and he was like, I think he's been on Success Insider and all these things, but he was really good in psychology. And furthermore, the video went on to say the law of sustainment and how people don't usually take steps forward in their life. They create stagnancy. They stay locked into cycles that don't serve them, all because of the law of sustainment. Essentially, how your brain is perceiving even you as a person, which is so crazy that something in yourself could also be operating on its own manuscript. That's wow, like that's insane. But anyway, um, yeah. So like, what was I saying? Oh shit! I think I'm still a little bit buzzed, baby. I'm still a little gone. Um, but I'll say, um, when he was talking about the law of sustainment is the reason why you are not able to sustain long-term effects, long-term results, and show up because your brain is going to naturally diverge itself away from things that it thinks that you aren't with or capable of. It's about likeness, and I guess apparently mentally we associate certain things, and I'm not sure if this is like, I genuinely wonder what the brain would be like without cultural influence, but there can never not be influence on the brain. Like all data is influence, you know, in various all of its forms. From the day that we've been shipped, probably even prenatally, we were getting waves and signals that who knows how they may have imprinted us. So I guess there's never really any clear board, right, to work with. But I genuinely wonder what would the brain be like without certain cultural conditioning? Like how would the human soul express itself? You know? But anyway, so yeah, he goes on to talk about the law of sustainment, and essentially it's about we associate certain things with certain likenesses. So if we have these goals and they are kind of bracketed or branched a particular way, if we don't fit that likeness, we there will be a misnomer, like there will be dissonance, and your brain kind of won't know how to reconcile it, I reckon, right? Kind of doesn't seem like it. And thus we start to avoid or deviate from paths, even if our heart is telling us, hey, go that way, you know? And it's kind of disheartening, but I've seen it, I've noticed it within myself. And it's Oh my God, it will literally knock years off your life if you don't get a neck on it, if you don't gather yourself, darling. And so, it just makes me think like, okay, if I wasn't able to see my chart from that standpoint, that angle, what made me in the law of sustainment? Since that ad had been finding me, and then this conversation happened like probably a week or two after this ad, right? Maybe even less. Anyway, yeah, so I wonder what what ways in which my mind maybe wasn't identifying with myself, my identity, I guess, and made me miss this even within my own self-reflection. Because like I'm very reflective and like I'm isolated, which isn't always a good thing. But like within myself, like I'm very in my own bubble, in my own world, right? And so I've had plenty of time to rearrange the furniture of my mind and get very familiarized with escape. In fact, it's oftentimes a place that I've resorted to, and it's interesting up there. Things are full of shit, like very interesting things. And yeah, and so that being said, he reflected back to me through the lens of, like I said, Sidereal. How many times I say it differently in the video? I just, I don't know. I don't know how to talk, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so it was really enriching. And I'll say, like, life has been bringing me so many cool people to help me along my way. Something really shifted in my life, I'd say maybe a few years back. And I'm loving the energy that it's strong in. I'm loving what it's doing. I'm loving the air, the energy, the essence. Like, I turned a new leaf, and the winds of change, essentially flipped the page for me. And I'm reaping the beauty of that now. And it's funny because I have been attracting a lot of air signs. Not to mention, they say that you attract your rising sign like flies to honey. And not to say that these people are flies, although they do get a bad and pesky reputation, their signs. But actually, I'm quite fond of this sign. They're interesting. There's so much going on. And if you can guess, I'm not giving it away. You can guess in the comments below. You let me know. You probably know who I'm talking about, like what sign. But yeah, so they're very unique. Um, but all in all, I'll say like air signs in general, right? Air signs in general, I've been like um, gravitating like I've been magnetizing them in more recent years. Like I guess maybe it's been I'd include my teen years as well because I had a lovely Libran friend. She was really sweet, and I loved her. I loved the balance that she embodied. It was wow. She was so cool to me, you know. And it's just I'll say like it's something about it. It's something about air signs. I just naturally open up. I just naturally talk when I'm and not to mention, especially if you're 420 friendly, you'll be blazing that reaver, smoking that tree. You're in your element. And when that is a component, when I'm around them, the vibes, the atmosphere, the intellect are on another level. Which I find it ironic though, because it's not too ironic, because it makes a lot of sense considering the correspondence of air and air, right? But all in all, at the same time, it's kind of like peculiar to me that maybe it's just me because I have a lot of earth in my chart, but the fact that extra heightening of the senses, well, if I put it like that, I'm kind of countering what I'm saying, but it extra like being high in the mind, right? That sounds funny. Being high in the mind. Okay, so being high in the mind, Um, I guess it would make me feel out of sorts. So it's kind of interesting how it opens them up more to a different octave. I'll say being high in general. It sensitizes everybody. Like you can feel and perceive more. Your brain is kind of it's into a different frequency. But it's just like I don't know. I just feel like it would actually have a counter effect for them for some reason. Too much air, like airheadedness. But I don't know. Maybe for some, but not all. Yeah, that's just my thoughts. And I'll say I've been, like I said, I've been really enjoying my conversations and my talks. And it's like this individual truly held a fractalized piece of the truth toward me and gave it back to me. And it basically it's a puzzle piece. It equated to like kind of like you know on Dragon Tales when they hold up that damn stone where it starts it honestly reminds me of a rainbow moonstone where they hold it up and it starts making rainbows, it starts refracting, right? I think that's essentially what it felt like when the epiphany hit. And I love when epiphanies hit. Like when they land, it feels kind of like, oh shit. I don't know, it feels like a coming together, like something was found that you didn't remember that was missing, but somebody else was able to hand you a piece of the prism to refract your reflect your kaleidoscope of your soul. And that's how it feels for me. And so it's been rather lovely. And I'm grateful for the newcomers and the people that have been coming to me, showing up for me. Yeah. It's nice to have like reciprocal, respectful, vibe-adelic. I'm gonna turn that into something that's gonna catch on. And vibe-adelic relationships. So that's really new. It's super cool. Yeah. Well, hmm, I think um I think my point's been made. So I've had a lovely time making this video. I'm still a little high. It's coming down. But I'll say that if you like this content and if I'm interested, if you like my vibe, if you caught a vibe, you want to stick around for the vibe, then don't go nowhere. I got plenty more uploads coming. So yeah, peace out.